I think you maybe have to be at a certain point in your life to really maybe have it hit you home. I think with me, it's watching maybe my grandmother struggle with similar things that Genevieve's
really?
character does.
Yeah.
There's a moment in the movie I think that sold it for me, and I wanted to ask you about this line. It's a great dialogue exchanges between the two of you, but when she's concerned about the great mystery about death, and you say you plan to beat the odds, Riley smiling at her.
Yeah.
Talk about that, beating the odds. And the feeling of acceptance as you reach a certain point in your life that it's going to happen. Do you think about death? Do you think about the end?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, you get to a certain point, and it's that's really, I think, what the last part of your life is, to come to terms spiritually with whatever comes next, because something does come next.
Yeah.
I'm convinced of it. And to try to deal with what we all say. It's the same thing with birthing. A lot of people tell expectant mothers, "Oh, it's so terrible," they tell these, but actually, birth is perfectly normal and can be handled that way. So I have a feeling the same thing with death. My mother, my stepmother, went through it. I watched her die. It was one of the most important moments in my entire life. She did it with as much grace and elegance as she did everything else, and I certainly hope that's true of me, that I've come to terms with my life and can move on gracefully. There's a wonderful short story of William Faulkner's called The Old Man, where this convict is going down the river in a dugout canoe with a pregnant woman who's just about to give birth, and there's this wave of the flood behind them. He can hear it, and he can see the little ripples coming that move forward before the giant wave, which has houses and trees and God knows what in it. And he's paddling as fast as he can. I feel at this point the hiss and the little waves you see, your own mortality, you face it when you look in the mirror, when your body doesn't work the way you want it to work, I don't think about my memories so much because I've been able to forget things since I was in my 20s. Yeah, you think about it. Yeah.
Do you, this really is a story of heroism and not going gently into that good night, even though he's aware of what's going to happen to his wife and what the ultimate fate's going to be. He just refuses to balk it. He refuses to go along with what his children want, what he thinks maybe even is the right idea, even though he accepts things when it comes down to it. Do you think of this culture? I mean, I look at India with, the old people end up moving in with the family, and there's a great support system with, as you say, people eventually leaving us. Do you think there's a problem in our culture in North America?
Oh, without a doubt.
Can you comment on that?
Well, I think since Western culture doesn't tend to tell the truth about anything, popular culture, I know there are people in the culture that tell the truth and they're extraordinary, but we tend to push what threatens us off to the side. Older people become invisible. I have that experience of becoming invisible as a man, as the experience that I've had all my life. We push minorities. We push whatever it is that we don't want. We pretend does not exist, and I think all of that is changing. Older people represent a big problem to younger people now because there are more of us and they have to be sustained and they have health care, and who's going to pay for it, at what expense, who suffers because of it, what is the quality of the life, do we have to turn their life into a living hell? That are most of these retirement homes, which are ghastly. So I think everything to me at this point is coming up. The paradigm is going to shift. And before it shifts, of course, it has to come into crisis. That's why the shift occurs. I believe, like William Faulkner, that we will not only endure, we will prevail. But many will be left by the wayside, and it will be painful for many people.
Why do you think that you flourished so much in your career? Is a bit of not just your craft, which is obvious, even listening to you articulate yourself. You hold a frame, you also hold a room. But it's the craft as well as a bit of luck. I mean, can you...
Oh, I think it's... there's a wonderful documentary coming out called 20 Steps from stardom, which is about background singers.
Right.
And they show these incredible women whose instruments are extraordinary what they can do. And one of them sang backup for Sting. And Sting said, you know, it has nothing to do with talent to make those 20 steps. It doesn't have to do with even the quality of your voice. It's really just luck. It's luck. Some people they offered me Babe. Why did they offer me Babe?
Right.
The man who produced it he wanted an Australian. The director was fighting him for control of the picture.
Producer being George Miller, right?
George
Yeah.
Miller.
Okay, yeah.
And Chris wanted to maintain some sense of control, so he said, I want to choose my guy and I'm going to America. The reason I saw the storyboards after I had done the film, and the artist who had done the storyboards, which of course George and Chris had looked at for months, drew my face. So that's why Chris, when he saw me, thought, oh, that's the guy. No, it didn't have anything to do with my audition. So, and that changed my life. So I think we have a destiny, and my destiny, whoever is up there must love me a lot, because they have spared me. I have put myself in the goddamnedest positions.
Yeah.
And I've eked it out by the skin of my teeth, and I'm still here, and I'm still at it, and I'm not broken. And it hasn't been compromised to a degree where I can't be effective. And I'm a happy fella. So it's great.
You know, I remember when Babe came out, everyone was, hey, that's Stretch Cunningham, right? Because even though you had been working steady, those are the benchmark roles,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
so
what you can't-
when you can't miss you walking down the street. So when people do see you on the street, what's the most common role that people say, hey, you from? Is it Babe? Is it Stretch still?
It used to be in New York that it was the cabbies, and they'd roll down their windows and say, hey, Stretch, how's it going? Hey! Because that was their generation.
Yeah.
And, now, I think Babe is a big one, LA Confident. I've done a lot of things.
Rollo
that have
Tomasi, man.
touched a lot of people. What I love about what I get is people say, I love your work.
Yeah.
So they don't say, oh, you're that movie star. They understand that I'm a working stiff. Acting is my job. I do a good job, and they respond to the films I'm in so much so that they're willing to go to a film because I'm in the film, because they know that they're going to like the film. Well, that's a little bit of an obligation, but then I'm real pleased. They're going to see a part of me that no one has seen. This is the first time.
Yeah.
Is this closer to me than in any role I've ever done?
Congratulations, by the way, belatedly for winning.
Bless
Yeah.
you, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the key, is that you show up in a movie, people say, hey, but it's only a little part of what you can do.
That's right.
So here you go, a leading role.
Yeah,
Which
leading
is-
role, and
Is it rare that you get offered a film of
that's the
this
first
magnitude?
one. That's the first
This
one.
is your first leading man role?
First leading role.
Are you serious?
After all these years.
Now, have you turned down leading roles before?
No.
Wow.
No. No. I don't know what it is. The physicality. It's my 20 steps.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with talent. People have liked my work. Even in Hollywood, some people like my work, and I haven't been able to make the 20 steps into the headliner.
Right.
And so maybe I'm inching up on it.
What's the line? Who is it again? Is it Great Gatsby? Fitzgerald? But there's
Fitzgerald.
no third acts. What is it?
No second acts.
No
of
second
American
act.
Life.
What act are we on now? Have we gone past
Oh,
three?
yeah.
I mean,
I'm way up. Mine's
There it is.
an epic.
It's a whole.
It goes
it's
on
like Ben Hur of
the
yeah,
Iliad.
that's right. So let's talk about the movie a little bit, about that chemistry between you and one of our national treasures, Genevieve, who I haven't seen her on screen. I don't think I can recall
it's
since
been a
Dead
while.
Ringers, and so it was here she is again, and again the chemistry there.
Yeah, no,
Was there a lot of prep time between the two of you, or just was
No.
it just professionalism, meeting
No,
professionalism?
I told her this, but I don't think she believed me. I had a crush on Genevieve when I was in college.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I saw her first picture, which was a French-Canadian picture with her husband.
which
I don't
one?
remember what it was called. Now you can look it up. I
Some
don't know.
saucy picture, maybe. Yeah.
No, but
No, okay.
she was just some, I don't know, murder mystery or something. But she was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, I think of her in Coma.
Oh, she's just a stunner. And then, as I moved into work, she was a big star. she was a star. It's very difficult. Well, she's also French Canadian.
Mhm.
She's fiery. She's really out there. And I think she got whacked pretty hard by Hollywood
Mhm.
at various times. I did never really talk to her about it, but so she was trepidatious about working with this actor who's been continually working and who's big and who's loud and who has opinions. And so I could sense this at the beginning, but she's also very vulnerable and timid and a little insecure. So that allowed me as a man and as an actor to reach out and say, I got you. You do whatever you got, it's fine, whatever you want to do, I got you. I won't let you fall. I'll take care of you. I'll, if you want to kick me, if you want to hit me, it's fine. I won't drop you. In the nude scene, she was supposed to do the shower with me, but she reneged at the last moment. But she watched to see how I did it and noticed, it's no big deal for him. So that when she came to drop her dress, she looked up at me with like, there, you see, I did it. What do you think? So I looked at her, I looked in eyes to see, because some actresses can take their clothes off and still be fully clothed. They never get naked.
Right.
And I love to get naked.
Well, is that to me? Is it the first time you've been naked on a film?
No, I was naked in a film called Tank.
Oh, with James Garner,
with James-
1984.
with
See Thomas Howell. Yeah.
James Garner, and I did a production of Hamlet because I believe that when Hamlet comes back and he's been on the ship for however long he's been it, and then jumped in the grave, that he needs to so he takes a sauna. So I came out because I wanted the audience to see Hamlet's just a man like every other man,
Yeah.
just as vulnerable. So I didn't have any problem with it.
Right. About the film, shooting the movie. I mean, to me, again, the vistas. I mean, it's like a John Ford movie or something.
Beautiful.
It's one of the
Yeah.
gorgeous, breathtaking. Even though the dialogue is gorgeous, it could be mute, and you'd still feel the movie. Can you talk about the shooting and where did you shoot out in New Brunswick? Is that where you?
No, we shot most of it just 400 miles north of Toronto, in northern Ontario, a place called Nipissing.
Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
oh, just beautiful. Wonderful house that they built, and the farmhouse was perfect, which was very near. Logistically, it worked out really great. And it's Michael and an extraordinary cinematographer. He didn't miss a beat. There's not a bad shot in the whole
Not a
thing.
bad shot.
Really,
No.
really extraordinary. And it was joyous. Everybody worked. The contribution not only of the crew but the other Canadian actors. My son and daughter, who are just wonderful, and my best friend, everybody was just great.
Was there obviously a massive difference between Hollywood and Canada? A little movie shot in Ontario
Yeah.
here. Which do you prefer? Obviously, you
Oh,
prefer the leading man role, but
No, it's not that. I prefer this because the scale is human. I remember when we did Spider-Man. Well, there were more on Spider-Man. When I did Longest Yard, the guy told me, the caterer said, there are 425 people for lunch. 425 people. Well, you figure out what that bloody film cost. It's a little comedy about a football team.
Yeah.
And it gets bizarre and ludicrous and blown out of proportion. And that's my objection to Hollywood. Hollywood is where the fantasies are created. And it's very hard to find the solid rock on which to put your feet. So coming here, it's one of the reasons first of all, I love French Canadians, and I don't know them all, but I have a very dear friend, Robert Toupin, wonderful actor.
Yeah.
And so, coming here is a reality check.
right.
Really great people. You guys ask real questions. I can respond to you. You listen. I've done junkets in LA at the Four Seasons. It's every 2 minutes of the stupidest
The
questions.
same questions.
Oh my God! But not even inventive ones.
Yeah.
And you feel like a dick sitting there. So this, I'm delighted. I think this is
Well, you're
great.
not a dick, so I'm glad this worked out. So are we done? This is
Yes,
it?
we're
Okay.
done.
Is it unprofessional?